Done. Here it comes.
I didn't get a picture of you two together. Is that your wallet?
Took the kids for a walk when we went around the corner and there's like cars all up and down. But there was nobody in it. They were talking to their colleagues like, well, who goes to them? I said, I guess Germans. Yeah. There's no college in this town. So
How's everything with y'all? I love it. I love it. I don't care.
yeah, that's cool.
It's the thought. It's the thought that it's the thought. Hey, that's see, they're
Come back here and real high.
Orders until that's all done, and then we will eat our meal later. Any questions?
I'm hungry now. I was just teasing.
No.
Oh, no.
You're 80. This is your Oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
Did I lose a point?
Oh.
Happy birthday, Ginny. From all of us.
Thank you,
From all of us.
This has been the most wonderful 2 days and nights that I think I ever remember. It's just been wonderful. I love all my children and grandchildren and daughter-in-laws and son-in-law. I wasn't a perfect mother, Lord knows. But I tried my best, and I think I did a damn good job when I was and I just appreciate, excuse my language, Julia, I shouldn't say. But I appreciate all of you, and this has been more than beautiful. It's just been wonderful. Thank you, all of you.
Happy birthday.
We'll get you the real ones when you turn 90.
Okay.
It's the best glass money can buy.
Will you put it on me?
Yeah, we've got a few pictures here we just want to share with everybody. There's no real order to this. Just want to show a few photographs. This is a pretty sad picture, but this is a tall, skinny guy from a long time ago with a beautiful woman.
Yeah, show it to
They got married.
They got married.
That's where it all started for us.
Well, I was tall and skinny too.
Yeah, but you weren't.
Yeah, but you weren't a dork.
You weren't just a pinhead either. Picture.
See how he's got the
You look stressed out. I don't know. You decide what you think.
the ones that are in
I made a mistake.
You saying you want how many
This
kids?
is all on recording. You're doing good, Jim.
And I think this was actually before the wedding. This was
There is no order, is
probably
there?
a,
No. We went over them, but
looks like a high school prom or something. Is that what that was?
That was your prom, wasn't it?
Well, I tell you what, they don't make socks like they anymore like they used to. You like to have a pair of those? Those are good. Those are some stripes.
That was actually at Southwestern University in Georgetown. I was there 1 year.
That's really crazy.
I think that swing's still there.
Now here's a really good one. Everybody in the family, in her family, always say what a happy child she was. She was obviously very, very happy in that picture. Looks like maybe it was the haircut that kind of kicked it off.
Oops, sorry.
That's good looking kid back there too. Isn't it? Like Spain from all your hair. Like I said, there's no real particular order here.
Ginny, that's your angel telling you all that.
I know. He could go on.
And of course, a lot of you thought that.
I'll think of it.
A lot of you thought Dad was in the Air Force. Actually, he was standing up for her volunteer work.
That's me. That's me making.
She's
Every
making-
time they try to take my picture, I went. Like
I'm
this.
not sure what she's telling this guy. Probably
I don't know
you
why.
straightened up from that and take the coat hanger to you. Here's my favorite. This is this is what you call your ideal family. You notice everybody's names on there. So you know who's who. They're all in the back. Everybody had smiles and their little head up. John, look how look at his son must have been.
you're right.
Nice little bow tie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where he stands.
He's good.
Yeah, that was a clip on Oh, yeah.
I
This is,
I think one of their
this is a great one here. This is one that we were riding home on the bus and we come back to school and saw this and we immediately knew what the story was. Didn't know if Dad would survive and live through this or not, but he had rented a sign and right on the front gate of this Air Force Base on her 40th birthday. Happy birthday, Virginia, twice as nice as when he loved you. I'm sure nobody knew what that was.
And now you're twice as nice as 40.
There you go. Hey, good one.
You tell him,
We
Luann.
realize that now this is another 40 years after that, so we've doubled from that from 40 to 80.
Yes, that's what I just said.
I never listened to you before.
This was
You live
taking this house Here's one with Aunt Lenora. A good picture of T-Dale. I mean, did you say she? I don't know.
Do you recognize who's in the picture? Yes. I was pregnant with Lorianne.
Were you?
Face is all
You look beautiful.
You haven't changed it. Did you know that? Did you know you were pregnant? Was that when after you found out? Yeah.
That's all I got about pictures. Don't come around. Now, if they find it, that celebrates radio birthday
I guess I'm down in the middle.
Write down some things. Well, you're more prepared than Jim was, so you're already in.
You done great.
Well, it's
it's easier, yeah, Tom, yeah, be quiet. Your time's next. Okay, it's easier for me to kind of go chronologically. So I think of my earliest kind of impressions of Mom, and one of the things I remember about her is she really emphasized reading and books. And that was very important for us. And we have a little nephew now, a great nephew, Timmy. And we're trying to do the same thing with him. And we do so many things with him instinctively that Mom and Dad did. And that's one of them. The other thing is, in dealing with Timmy, is I've negotiated huge sales of hospitals, $125 million sales of hospitals. Learned a lot of techniques to negotiate, get what you want. And I found that I totally fail when I try to negotiate with a 3-year-old to go to the potty. And it's hard to do. Yes. And it has totally humbled me, and I've been unable to do it. And I realized that at one point, Mom had, I don't know, somewhere between 3, 4 people. I don't know when the land started, so it could have been 5. I don't know. But a lot of children, teaching them to go to the potty, and having learned to do that with one, I realized how difficult just overall it must have been to have 5 kids.
No, 4. I started at 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months.
She never taught me.
6 months?
Yeah.
Really? So, well, I would like that. Well, I would like to ask Mom, I've always wondered this, who got to the potty level soonest?
Oh, gosh.
John.
One and the other, and then it never was.
Good answer. Good answer.
Scott, the answer is, did you get there?
I'll let Esmeralda answer. Another very important thing that Mom taught us was the value of work, and she worked very hard around the house. She was always busy, always working. She taught us the value of work. And I can remember Tom was one of the first to get a job. He got a job at the Oak Club, Officers Club, when we were still in high school. And I remember Mom would make him a special little dinner before he went to work. And that kind of taught me that, hey, if I got a job, I'd get a dinner too.
And you didn't have to go to church on Sunday morning either.
That's right, Dad would come in and say, sorry, I work late.
Yeah.
I guess so.
And cooking was a big part that I remember of Mom, and she always cooked a lot. She cooked great meals, healthy meals, cooked a lot of cakes, did a lot of baking, and those cakes were the downfall for me. Also, she was mentioning today that we moved and we went to 4 different high schools, all of us, and went to different high school, and she was talking today about how hard that was on us. But she didn't even think about the hardship on her. And I remember Mom would have a system when we were going to move, and she'd say, okay, pick out the stuff that you need, like your baseball glove, whatever, put it away so it doesn't get packed. And every single time, invariably, Mom, my baseball glove got packed. So it was, try to figure out where it was. But she really took it as a sense of adventure. And I never saw her with self-pity or feeling sorry for herself. I know moving, wasn't easy. And, sometimes you go to glamorous places, but sometimes you go to Omaha, Nebraska, or Bunker Hill, Indiana, or Limestone, Maine, and she always took it as a sense of adventure, and I think she kind of instilled in us, when life throws challenges at you, don't sit around crying, just move forward and look at it as an adventure. And they really showed that later with Mom and Dad's travel and the RV, they're flying, and so that's been a real model for Esmeralda and I, and really seeing how they enjoyed that travel has been very special. So I'm getting to the end of my, is the food coming here? So, a couple, I guess, kind of funny stories. One is when we were in Austin, and to amuse ourselves, we were having a water balloon fight. And there was a young kid with us, his name was Tony, and he was much younger than us. And we were out in the street, out in Ivanhoe, throwing the water balloons. And Tony flung a water balloon and missed somebody and hit some woman's car as she was driving down the street. And this woman was furious. And she jumped out of the car And of course, we all fled around the back, went in the back door, and were kind of crouching in the kitchen. And the woman rang the doorbell, and we thought, oh boy, we're going to be in for it. Either this woman or Mom. And the woman started berating Mom and talking about these kids, and we were kind of sitting there, and she finally, all of a sudden, she said, wait a minute. They were just playing out in the street. You just calm down, and basically just ran her off. And we were like, yeah, way to go, Mom. Because then she had some words for us after that. So
the meetings began.
I guess Mom does, and those who know her know she has some fire to her. But that part was always fun. And I guess one of the last kind of fun story I remember is when Tom and I were, when Dad was in, I guess it was Nebraska, and we were going to drive back home to college, and it was Christmas break, and it was snowing, and there was ice, and we were going to go back, and we got up very early. We were anxious to go back to UT, and Dad got up early before he went to work, and came in and just talked to us very seriously and told us how bad the weather was, how icy it was, and that we shouldn't go, and we should wait. And so we said, well, no, we really need to go, we need to get back. And so he said, well, I'll tell you what, wait 1 hour, check the weather reports, and then talk to Mom. Talk to your mother. If she lets you go, you can go. So we said, okay. So he drove off to work, and we waited an hour, and then we went in, and Mom was there. It was very, very early. She was still asleep, so we, Mom, excuse us, and she was in bed. She kind of, yes. And we kind of explained everything, and she goes, well, if it's raining and snowing, you don't need to go. And of course, I think it was really Tom at that point said, well, we need to go. We need to get back. We need to go. And Mom basically said, fine then, go ahead, do whichever you want to do. Turn off the light. And we looked at each other and said, man, it's great having Mom in control. And we hit the road and off we were. So, but all in all, I just want to, yes. But all in all, I just want to say you were a great mother. I think all of us benefited greatly from that, and you taught us a lot. And we all love you very much.
Good job,
Yes, I love that.
Thank you.
Because I didn't know we were going to do this. Maybe I probably. Well, I'll think of some more. But one of the best stories was I took algebra when I was in here in Austin. I could never get it, and I had this mean old teacher, and I made an F, and then I had to take it to summer school, and I took it again in summer school, and I still couldn't get it, and I just could not get algebra, no matter how hard I tried. And so I did an exam, and I didn't know the answers, so I just wrote down Hut 1, Hut 2, Hut 3, or I'd write, I didn't know what else to put there. So the guy that taught it was very angry, and he called Mom in and asked to speak to her, and I went with her, and she went in and talked to him. I thought, oh boy, I am in so much trouble. And Dad was not there, so Mom was handling it, and I knew if Dad had been there, I really would have been in trouble. But Mom goes and sees him and comes back, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then we get in the car, and I said, so what happened? And she goes, well, he told me that you were a terrible student, and you would never get to college, and something like you could never get to college. And I just told him, you don't know what you're talking about. And just told him, basically she said, just told him go to hell. Didn't say that, but basically said, and didn't chastise me or didn't give me any lecture or anything. And I thought that was the coolest thing, that she didn't listen to what that guy said. And, and I did go to college, and then that guy didn't know what he was talking about. And I always thought that was really cool that she did that. And the interesting thing is, that was before they had computers, so we moved to Maine, and when I went in, they said, okay, what are your records? Have you passed Algebra 1? And I went, yeah, I did. And so they put that as passing, and so I actually passed Algebra 2 but never did, so I probably can't have my law degree now. But I was glad that I thought that was really cool that you didn't let that guy decide what my worth was, or yell at me, and I tried to do the same with my children, and I was glad it was you and not Dad. So.
Fair.
You got the same emails that everybody else got.
Yeah,
Didn't he, Luann?
We didn't know we were supposed to read them.
Jim didn't, so you did okay. You did great. You did great.
Well, being the last of 5 kids, I guess I'm retelling a story that I tell that was ingrained into me that I had special treatment. That a mother raising 4 kids can't possibly give attention that once they move on that she has 1 child. So I was the last, I was the baby, so there was a tale, any of you that haven't heard this tale, that when we were in Abilene, there was a country squire station wagon, a 67 Ford. I don't think it had air conditioning, did it, Dad?
No.
No. Oh, yeah. Anyways, we would all walk home from school. Well, one day they were walking home from school, what was it, about 30 miles?
Not 30 miles.
You know, it's about 180 degrees, as it usually is in Abilene, right, Jim? 180 degrees. And they're, you know, 40 something miles into their hike home, and the station wagon drives by and they go, "Hey, there's Mom." You know, she's driving by, undressed, you know, and there's a mile-long station wagon, and in the back seat there's a young kid, you know, looks like he's got a bow tie on, you know, a little smile. He's probably on his way to Luby's for pie, is what they say, as they walk the 40 miles home from school. But you know, there was a lot of special times growing up with Mom that I got to enjoy, you know, watching TV and learning to stay up late night. Never really got to sleep late like she did, but you know, every morning when I enjoy a cup of coffee, I think about Mom and how she'd have to have her coffee, you know, to get her up and going. And it's just a lot of things. Sometimes I find myself as a parent. Sometimes I'm the calm disciplinarian, like my father, very calm most of the time. Sometimes I find myself a little bit more stern or aggressive. But let you know that you've always been a good friend to me, and there's always been a lot of love, and that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Because, I mean, sometimes it comes across like you were kind of mean and overbearing, or you were a taskmaster, but to raise 5 kids without a whole lot of help, I think you did an amazing job of keeping it all together. While he was off having a good time wherever he was. I gotta go to TDY again. I'll be back in about 6 months. See you then.
Yeah, we got another good show on here.
I think you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
This is your time, and I'd rather you stand up and say something than me.
Well, I think I've said mine, but it was a delight.
Tell them what it feels like to be 80 years old.
Oh, I'm so thankful and grateful. I love it that we can still participate and be happy. Sure, we get tired, and we know when to go and say, "Pardon me, I gotta go take a little nap." But we still love life, and we plan to love it as long as we're here. And when it's time for us to go, it's time for us to go. And we want to thank you all for all of you have made it what it is, and we love you. Thank you. That's George.
Yep. Are we gonna sing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ginny. Happy birthday to you.
You better blow it out.
Blow it out, Meg.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is it one of those tricky?